Alright, YouTube, welcome back to some From the Depths, and today we're starting the big 50k volume limit tournament that I've been getting prepped for over the holidays. Hope you've all had a good 2022, of course. We're into 2023 now. So, this first episode, I don't know how many actual rounds we'll do. There's going to be, I'm going to go over the competitors maybe just in this first one, and also what the rounds will be. So, and we'll see how we do for time. If we've got time left, we might do a fight. So, let's go over the competitors first, shall we? I've got them all up here. I've got everyone's things into one place. Some of them might be a little out of place, considering they'll be in the water, but I'll pause time and we'll have a bit of a fly around and have a look at what everyone's bought. So, I'm doing these in alphabetical order, not submission order. So first of all, Amphiretes. We have... This should work underwater, given the name. Oh my god. The Mad Submersible Platform. AEMPSP Tawny Tunk. I don't know what that means. To give you a quick idea of what the rules for the tournament were. The way I've put it was... You have a 50k volume limit, because it was to celebrate getting 50,000 total views on the channel, which we've done. We have since done that. It wasn't quite there at the start. Your limits were, I believe, 550,000 materials. 50k volume limit. So this one is right up to the materials limit, but it's actually quite a bit under on the volume. I'm seeing sort of grid beam armor. This is a fascinating looking construction, I have to admit. Some kind of big torpedo tube? Yes, a huge torpedo tube. I guess it's torpedo anyway, it could be anything. I won't spoil too much, I want to see these things in action. We've got multiple propellers. Tracks, I did say to be ready for anything. I did not explain what any of the rounds would be. That I've saved for today. Yeah, this is looking reasonably capable. Big detection towers, some interesting armor on them. Rangefinders and whatnot. Yeah, very nice. That's Amphiretes entry. Next up, Cobra X with the Hollywood Battler Tournament. This one I've actually had a quick look at because I was curious about this one, but most of them I haven't seen properly in game yet. This is a big fella, but it's actually not that high on the volume. It's at the limit. It is at the limit, but yeah. It's huge. I think for sheer size, this is the biggest one by a long way. But, if you have a look at it, yeah, it's pretty much hollow. I think he said there was a lot of aim point spoofing. I believe these are full of, things like, AIs? Ammo storage, okay. One thing I meant to say earlier was the limits for the tournament, the other limit, main one, was no EMP. I've never found it's that interesting to actually watch, so there's no EMP in this tournament. Very interesting setup. He's got these huge, many barrel guns. How big are these? 500mm. Yeah, that's a lot of gun. Like a lot. We've got triple turrets here of some sort. AA, smaller turrets in big quotation marks. I think they're still 500. So, big spoofing. Very little armor. Very interested to see how this one would do in action. Are these turrets entirely surface mounted? Oh, I think he said these were direct input feed. Maybe, yeah, that sounds familiar. So, yeah, interesting looking one there. Maybe relying on an Alpha Strike, perhaps? Because there's not much substance inside of those guns. It might work. Next up, the from Damadoc 82, Iron Maiden class Super Dreadnought. He's in the... I'm just checking all the limits things. He's within limits. A very much Dreadnought-style battleship here. I'm guessing this is more of a conventional battleship layout. Sort of thick armor and whatnot. Lots of sponson guns, like a lot. Twin turrets? No, 5 turrets. All dual barrel. Interesting. Some light AA of various types. Some 3 and 27-inch guns. Yeah, interesting looking. It's the most conventional ship I think we've got in the tournament. That'll probably serve it well at least one of the rounds. Next up. I'm also going to explain these later, because these are going to be related to the tournament. Mecha his XV7, which I think might be a Tau unit, Tatzel one. I think that's how you say it. It's a hover gun. Now, I did say you were allowed to have subparts docked to your ship, but you had to keep them all as one ship. You couldn't do any carriers. Nice little mohawk on the back here, the face. I do like the shark mouth. Particle cannon in the main body. These, I believe, are, they're gun pods, effectively like funnels, but docked to the main craft. Not too much to say on this one. I think it's fairly clear what this one's going to do. That's sit back and shoot away. I think I should say no excessive kiting, but some is fine. Now this one is what I've been saving for the tournament because I want to see this. This is Mew 2014, the Meteor Mega. Now this is based off the Meteor Buster that I made for IORC, but I believe this is like a massive version of it. Oh my god, it is huge. Oh my god, right. Is it the Meteor Buster? Is it still the Mark IV? It's still the number 4. Just way bigger. He goes all in on the deco. Ah, okay. Interesting. So the actual jet's in there, and I think it's actually completely contained. Hologram projectors. Ah, I see. Oh my god, it's a carrier! Oh, I love that. I think these are just docked to it. I don't think they actually come off. No, they're just for looks. But oh, that's so cute. I do love that. It's a little carrier. Is there anything in the big container at the back? Big jet engine. Okay, fair enough. Oh, I really do like that. Mortars. There's a mortars on the roof there. Huh. Very interesting. So roof-mounted turrets. Did that say large missile hatch? Oh, they're missile launchers. Okay, interesting. Gunship-style side mounts. Mill assault cannons. Cockpit of some sort. Material containers. And it's got the 3 guns on the front here. Large gantry. It's got a laser. Another laser. Interesting. Yeah, no, I may be a little bit biased towards this one because I made the game it's from. But I really do like that. That's cool. Okay. Big slow cruiser by the look at it. Okay, so we got... That was Muse. Next up, Solid Pickle. Last minute entry, and by which I mean literally like I think yesterday. Omega class airborne Counter-Strike vehicle. They probably look a little bit different to how the guys normally paint them because of course it's in my colour schemes. What have we got here then? This looks... This actually ironically does also look a little bit IORC-ish as well, but it's not. So we've got quad torpedo tubes at the front. We've got... That is a laser transceiver, apparently, but I don't know what if it's an actual weapon or not. We've got these... Oh, he's made like a custom lamp system with like crystal nodes. That's really cool. Oh, it's like an aqua launcher. Oh, I do like that. Small launch. Small launch? Oh, these are tiny little launchers. It's like a decoy system, maybe? Big set of missile launchers here. Got these side-mounted many barrel guns with some cool decoing on them. These 500mm. They're 500mm. I don't know what's on the inside of them, but... Is there anything, or are these direct? I think it's another direct input feeder. I think that seems to be a theme at the moment. These look like big missile tubes? No, they're just decoration. They look cool, but they don't seem to be functional. Or maybe they are, and we'll find out later. Again, some nice decoration. We've got these rear missile tubes, and of course the engines at the back. No, it's solid at the back. Some kind of aim point spoofing, maybe? Oh no, armor storage. There's some interesting creations out today. Was that a jammer? No, it's just a radar dish meant to look like one. I was thinking, oh, has he actually employed proper jamming? But not this time. Okay. Tank 745's Demios. Oh no, I tell a lie. I think there was another fairly conventional ship. Okay, it was a bit sci-fi, but it looks nice in the white and red, though. Yes, it's like a more sci-fi version of the Dreadnought, I would say, almost. Interesting. Okay, so we've got pod thrusters, or gimbaled, what do you call them? Propellers. Passive sonar. Stabilizer fins, by the look of it. This... Not sure what that was about. Maybe he was going to mount extra propellers there at some point. Lift thrusters. More sonar on the bottom. That looks like it for underdeck weaponry and equipment. Got twin barrel 500s, and these look like they've actually got a full gun mechanism. Yeah. Very interesting frontal armor. All sorts of beams and things going on there. Compartments. Got some secondary, what are these? 174s. Got a minigun, perhaps Seawiz. And missile tubes. Okay. Oh, they're flare. Ah, they're probably tote flares, I would imagine, looking at them. Interesting looking. Okay. Very sleek. A little under the volume limit, that one. But of course you didn't have to use it all. Last up, the KATV maximum price tag, and I see he has managed to fit it exactly in. Materials are not part of the cost. In fact, I'll have the F5 thing turned on, so all the craft are hopefully receiving resources over the fight, if it works properly. Very interesting camouflage on this one. I remember seeing this. Is this wood? No, it's got bits of wood, but it's metal primarily. Okay. Not quite sure how this one's going to function. It's got tracks. Oh, is this the one that was like a crawler? It's meant to go along the bottom. I think there's something said about that, although it's sinking very slowly. We've got railguns. I was going to say railgun mortars, but I think they're just railguns. Oh, actual jamming. Actual ECM jamming on this ship. Okay, interesting. Passive sonar. Many active sonars. this? I'm not sure what's going on here. Are these some kind of pop-up launchers? No? This. I don't know what's going on there, but he's got some bits on the side. Propellers? Yeah, propellers that can move in the water. Is that a staircase? What is... There's some weird structures on this craft. Yeah, very unusual. This looks like... I'm assuming it's got more weapons than we can see. Man, it's got a massive engine. Huge engine. Look at the size of that thing. Must be putting out a lot of railgun power. Yeah, this looks like it might be primarily focused around its railguns. So maybe 2 very powerful weapons, but that might be it. Interested to see how that'll do. It is gradually sinking to the bottom. Maybe that's intentional. Maybe not. I don't know. But right. That's the contestants. We've met them now. What about the rounds they're going to be facing off in? Well, I had a lot of ideas. I've narrowed it down to these ones. So, round 1. Well, there'll be, as you mentioned, there's extra prizes for the most interesting craft and the best looking craft. I'll be judging those at the end. But for the main actual rounds, there is the sea battle. It's a battle at sea. You're on your own. If you don't swim, if you don't float, that's your fault. Second battle will be... I'll have to find a suitable spot for this, but we'll probably go over to the actual land campaign. Oh, come on, how do I teleport? Right, yeah. Second battle will be a land battle. Now, you may be going, but Doug, how do we do a land battle? So, most of the competitors have entered ships. Well, that's what the first of these is for. Assuming it works as intended, there may be some last-minute tweaking on these. You guys who have been in the Discord will have seen this and a handful of other strangely similar creations. Inside this little bulge is a docking port. I'm sure you can probably work out where this is going, but let's, for example, grab the Iron Maiden. This thing can't move on land. This thing would be stuffed. It'd take damage even when it just spawned in. What I'm going to do for the craft that cannot operate in certain conditions at all in the tournament rounds is they are going to be docked to one of these or one of its cousins. If I can find it. Hang on. Put God mode on so it doesn't break when it hits the ground. There may be a little bit of setup before the rounds start. Right. If I can find the dang thing. I'll make sure they're on the same team. And activate the beam. Well, that's not quite how it's supposed to work. Again, there may need to be some tweaking here. They may even be facing the wrong way. Are we still paused? Why are you floating over there? Receiving. What is going on? Again, maybe some tweaking needed last minute.
Listening.
You're a ground vehicle for one thing. The slightly jank tournament. Oh, right. Hang on. Why are you spawning it so far away over there? Is that something to do with it? Let's play the visual effects. Is it actually working? Are we too far off? Is our power drain not too high? Is the other one stuck in the ground? That's also entirely possible, now that I think about it. Hopefully you guys can get the idea, even if it's not working perfectly at the moment. There we go. Okay, it was too far away. Elevation. There we go. That's how you'll be battling on the land. If you're not set up for combat on the land, you'll be fighting like that. No, this will not be invincible. This will be targetable as well, so if the enemy's AI decides to knock it out, well, you're on your own. But it is reasonably toughly armoured. It's got about 2 meters in most directions, although there may be some weaknesses like that. So you should have a reasonably good chance of at least being suspended for most of the battle. But yeah, if you didn't build your thing to fight on land, that's what's going to happen. Third battle will be a space battle. By which I mean, I'm going to turn gravity off and air off. If you're unable to fight in the air, or in space, you'll get an iron hauler. This is exactly the same sort of idea. Inside that bulge is a docking port. It will hold you up and it will help you move Likewise, if your machine can't move at C, and I think all of them can, so it might be redundant. I think I said it was you're on your own, but no, sorry, I meant if you can't move at sea, we have the jet hauler. This will be doing exactly the same thing. If you can't move in the ocean, this will carry your vehicle for you, which we might end up doing. I'll maybe wait to see what he says, because I'm sure he'll be watching. I might ask Cringe if he wants me to... No, the KTV's got propellers. No, it's built for sea. Oh yeah, he'll be okay for that then. In fact, I think all of them can move at sea, right? I don't think any of them in the end had a problem with that. Yeah, no, we won't need it. It looks like it's going to be redundant because we won't need it in the end, but I didn't know what we're going to need, so I made it anyway. Third battle. These rounds, I should mention, will be one-on-one. They will be 10 minutes maximum. If you're not dead by the end, it'll be whoever's got the most of their craft left. Otherwise, you win, you get a point. Right. The next battle will be the Break the Box battle. These will also be 2-on-2, but you'll be on the same size. Inside this box, I need to do a tiny tweak to this creation, but it won't be the first round. Inside this box is heavy armor. Inside the heavy armor is a set of AA mainframes. 2 teams, or two ships, will be spawned in at once on the same team. They won't be firing at each other. The first to break open the box and destroy the AI mainframes inside, or any of the AI mainframes inside, will win the round. Simple as. This thing moves around on its own. It's got the same sort of... it is literally the same as the other hauler. I need to take out the AI from the inside of it. Actually, I could probably leave that in because it's just getting the ones on top that matters. But yeah, so I'll be first to get inside there and break it open. If I'm not sure, we can maybe do a tiebreaker battle or something. Lastly, will be the so-called Raging Battle. This will be a battle at sea. In fact, no. Coastline, sorry. On the coastline. If you're land base, you'll start on the coast. If you're sea base, you'll start in the water. Weather at the worst. And it will be a battle between everybody. I'll be spawning everybody in. Last one standing wins, and I won't put a time limit on it. So yeah, that's what we're doing for the tournament. Hopefully you'll all enjoy that. So, I'll be doing these in multiple parts as normal. I'm still going to keep the sort of roughly half an hour thing. We've only been going for 15 minutes though, so we're going to do a round or two. Let's see who's going to be fighting on the water first. Shall we? Where is the spin? I can't remember how you spin this thing. Click, that was it. I got this all set up. Oh, it's not solid. It will be Cobra. Move a little bit away from the coast. I don't want any collisions. In fact, we'll move all the way out to this resourcing point here. So the Cobra X is, what were you doing? The Hollow Wood. I'll turn the guns off immediately and make sure I don't get any immediate shooting, so I can spawn them both in and get them moving. And they will be fighting against... I'll have to re-add them later. Also going to need a timer up now I think about it. Looks like it's going to be Mew. It's going to be Cobra versus Mew. Air versus ship. They need to be... I just realised they will need to be on a different team. In terms of start location, I'll just try and start them a decent location away, decent distance away from each other. You will be on the Deepwater Guard. Get them moving a little bit. Right. Let's get that timer up and running. $10 minutes. And that will be a go. And we've got an immediate exchange of weapons, unsurprisingly. We've got anti-aircraft fire coming in. Meteors dropping missiles. Some of which have hit, some have not. Vertical gunfire. Okay, so Meteors resisting fire okay to start with. These big... the main guns on this thing may have hit a slight issue, which is that they're at a bad angle, but it's descended to a point where it could hit them. Damage is about to happen. Oh, some big damage on the Meteor. That at 80%. Some self-repair is allowed, but not an infinite amount. I think those, I think that might have been exactly what he's aiming for with those big guns and Alpha Strike. But the Meteor is not dead. It is still gun shipping. Let's see, missiles coming in. It's still firing. How far away from each other are they? About 2 kilometers out. It looks like it maybe hit his rear engine, but it doesn't appear to have stopped him. Well, there's mortar rounds coming down as well. Meanwhile, the Hollowwood has clearly taken some big hits. Oh, there goes another gun volley. Is it going to hit? Some of them did, by the look of it. Oh, the Hollowwood is not... Okay, it is being riddled with holes. The laser's firing now. And punching holes straight into the rear of it. Oh, big lag spike. Oh! We have liftoff. Is that deliberate, or did something just... Oh! I think we just had some massive internal explosion, catapulting it out of the water. What the heck happened there? Well, is it actually flying now? Is this actually some kind of mechanism it has built in? It's got wheels. It's got wheels. Well, I guess this won't need any support on land then, because it's got wheels. It's got tracks, rather. I don't know what catapulted it out of the water like that. Oh, it's about to take a big hit. Why do I say that? The meteor's taking some damage, but it's still going. I think this thing is flying now. I think this thing is built to come out of the water when it's taking enough damage. I'm not sure how. I didn't see any propulsion in it, but... Must have something somewhere, but I can't see it. Is it maybe when the rudder was knocked out? Meteor's taking a lot of damage, but it's still going. This is descending again now. I don't know how it lifted up in the first place. Guns are mostly still working, but they're not going to work if it capsizes. And... Oh. Meteor's going down. Are you still in it, Meteor? Oh, the Meteor's out. Meteor... Well, is it... Ah, it's dead. Yeah, it's dead. Looks like the first round goes to the Hollowwood, although not without some significant holes in the hull. Alright. I need a notepad document to write these down. Is it definitely dead? It's dead. Yeah, first round to the Hollowwood with its surprise flight, although I don't know how much I would rate its chances against a more solid competitor. I feel like against one of the actual battleships it might be in trouble, so we'll have to see how that one goes later, but the rounds are going to be random, so whether they'll end up encountering each other, who knows? I'll just be totaling up the total points from all the rounds to determine the winner. It's not going to be like a knockout or anything. There we go, first round to the Hollowwood. So what's this? Cobra. 1. And it was Mew. Bad luck, Mew. I have to admit I was rooting for you, but... Oh well. I shouldn't be too biased, but I might have been rooting for him. He did make something out of one of the games. Right. That's round 1. Reset. Let's load the next contestants. And let's also find out who they're going to be. Where is it? It was on here. Spin time. I believe there's it's an even number. We got 8, so it's nice and easy for matchups. It's going to be Solid. Solid's air cruiser versus... Well, we'll find out in a sec, but I've got to load in the craft first. He'll be on the Deepwater Guard side. If I had to put God mode on so they can't be damaged. And he will be fighting against... It will be against Tank 745. Ah, what did he have? The Demios? I'll find out in a sec. Yes. It's going to be sci-fi ship versus sci-fi ship, I think. Tanks Demios. And we'll start that timer and we'll get... Actually, hang on. We'll go from God mode for a second so they can get started, but we'll get that timer going. Wait for it to start moving a little bit in the water. I put them on the same team, haven't I? Yeah, it's fine. Load them in quickly and we'll not worry too much about the timer if it runs over a tiny bit. I think, by the looks of it, most of these fights are going to be done before that point anyway. Let's let him surface. Up you come. And we'll load in the... Sorry, what was it? It was the... Solid Pickle. On the player team. There we go. Battle begin. Immediately the Pickle's launching Jesus. Launching a huge volley of blue shots of some sort. See, we have Toad Flares launched. They're not doing a lot. We've got Lambs firing. Big missile barrage from the counter-strike. Demios is taking damage. It's trying to defend. Mind you, it didn't take as much as I thought it might. Looks like its armor's tough. Its Lambs is struggling to counter the counter-strike's weaponry. It's destroying its own flares, I think. Okay, looks like the counter-strike's following it for now. Missile barrage from the Demios. Counter-strike has its own Lambs, it would seem. Oh, their Lambs is working now a bit. Oh, it's not working against the decoyed ones. Damage on both sides. Still nothing substantial to the Pickle. It is taking hits from the guns, but it doesn't seem to be doing much. I have a feeling these two might be somewhat closer matched in some ways. But I'd say the Demios is probably a little weaker at the moment, or at least it's taking more hits. Oh, but the Pickle is taking some damage now. The Demios is hitting. Repeated strikes to the nose. Another one of those blue barrages. Did some damage. Oh, it's the side guns, isn't it? Yeah, the Pickle's losing components, definitely, actually. It is taking some nasty-looking hits. Missile barrage again. They're nasty, those missiles. Lambs is deflecting some of them, just not all of them. Yeah, Demios is dropping in health, but it certainly isn't giving up. It looks like most of its weapons are still working, at least. Missiles aren't... Oh no, the missiles are getting through. I was going to say the missiles aren't really getting through, but they are getting through, some of them. It seems like one is doing more, but I feel like this one is more likely to suddenly fail than the Demios is, but... I'd say, if anything, the Counter-Strike has the edge at the moment. Let's check the stats too often, but... Oh, warning noises from the engines there, by the sound of it. There's the big guns. Mostly missed with that barrage, by the look of it. Partly clipped the main gun, but it didn't look like it knocked it out. One of the main guns, anyway. Good armor on the Demios, by the look of it, for the damage it is taking. These are not huge crafts from the depths, 50,000 volume limit. So you have a reasonable amount of space to do stuff with. You should be able to fit in some nasty weapon systems and things, but not enormously so. Big hits to the underside. Lambs is helping a lot, but it's not entirely deflecting the impacts. Is that its engines, or is that an actual warning siren it's got for something? I think that's its engines winding up and down. The Counter-Strike appears to have slowed down for the minute, though. Its Lambs is still working, but it's not firing anything like as much anymore. It's got some decoys still. Could it be that its systems are getting exhausted? It's still got some bite left to it. Its Lambs, in fact, is not deflecting as many shots. Its shields are still working, but... I wonder if repeated hits to the bow have started to take their toll on it. Still got some of its missiles left. Actually, I didn't end up putting on infinite resources, did I? I guess we'll just have to assume you bring what you bought. You got what you bought. Still taking hits. I think that is the engines winding away. Let's have a look at the Demios. How's it looking? Bridge is pretty smashed. Although it doesn't look like there was too much importance in that. Oh, Lamb system's visible. The Seawers is still working, I would say. Yeah, Seawers is still working good. That's still protecting it. Manual backup's helping. Toad... Oh, it's got Toad Sonar as well, I think. Yeah, no, the Counter-Strike's really starting to take hits now. I wonder if it's, if the Demios has managed to outlast it. How are the main guns doing? I can't see them from this level of detail. They're all still firing. All its main turrets still work. Looks like its choice to focus on less weapons but more durable ones is perhaps paying off. Looking. Yeah, the counter-strike's being out-damaged now. I think its land is no longer functional, or at least no longer combat effective anyway. Certainly sounds like its engines aren't appreciating it. How's the time limit? 4 minutes 10. We're past the halfway mark. We've got gun barrels coming apart now. Still got warning sirens. There's still taking little missiles, but I don't think they're doing a lot. Decoys are distracting some of them. Some big hits there. Now they've got a really decisive weapon. I think those blue cannons were quite nasty, but I think they dropped off in efficiency fairly quickly. Missiles were nasty, but I think something's gone wrong with them because it's not really firing them. It's probably been shelled out. Certainly I'd say the frontal torpedoes have likely been knocked out by this point. This was one of the last entries, so this one had the longest time to to practice against the other designs if they wanted. There was no rule against that. Front armour is proving remarkably durable, but this could go to time at this point. I'm starting to wonder. But the Demios is not really taking much more damage at this point, and this definitely is. Again, I do like the alarms. I don't know if that's quite how they've done that, but yeah, no, it's still firing. It's just cruising along, continuing to slug it out, even with the damage it's sustained. It looks like the Seawers is still tracking as well. But then again, I can't write this one out entirely because it is still firing. It's just, I think too many of its systems are down at this point for it to be fully combat effective. I think at this point it at least will lose this fight if it goes on forever. Oh, though, mind you, main gun's still kicking. At least 2 of the barrels on it are. Warning sirens don't fill me with much hope. Those missiles getting sidetracked. That one was not really a very good lock. Oh, solid Pickle's out of it's out of material. Well, okay. Sorry, I think I said I was going to give them unlimited ammo. I didn't actually mean that. I should have said you had unlimited resources to bring it, which I believe is what the rules said. But yeah, it looks like it's just exhausted some of its weapon supplies, and it just hasn't done enough damage early on that the Demios, that I guess is carrying more, can keep shelling away. Oh, and it's starting to take big hits to the armour now. The underside armour is very thick, but it's coming apart now. I can see internals. There's wedge armour to protect the internals there, but that won't protect it forever. How's the time limit? 1 minute 23 left. Oh. Lots of flares, but only out of one side. I think it just is out of ammo. I think that's it. I think it's just gonna... Oh, mind you. Oh, I was going to say shooting stopped from the Demios, but I don't think it has. The rear gun's still firing, but is the front working still? Yes. Oh, and there's even some gunfire from the Pickle still. It's still partly working. Long reload times, perhaps? Then again, there are definitely holes in it, and it's flying a little bit wonky. Ooh! Last minute, pretty much full volley there. Interesting. Maybe it's still got some bite left to it, but is it going to be able to turn it around in the last minute? I don't think so. It's got a long way to go to do that. How we do have time? 13 seconds. Can it hit something critical in the last few seconds of the match and turn it around? There's the timer. Match goes the tank's Demios. That looked like it might lose early on, but it's come from behind, endured the hits, and managed to scrape out a win. Okay, so let's write down the results. So that is tanks. To remember the names. Thanks. 745. 1 point. And solid pickle. 0, but good effort. Your craft did pretty well, actually, considering the it got turned around later on, but you did do quite a bit of damage early on, and your armor's clearly a lot tougher than I thought it might be, so nice work, my dude. Right, I think... You know what, I would cut it there, but since it's the first round, and since we're halfway through, let's finish this round off. So, even if it reads the episode runs a little long. So, who's up next? It's going to be Amfreets. He will be fighting. We'll try and get this actually set up right this time. Amfreets. It's submersible. I'll load this out the water. The only, I believe... No, it's not the only purpose submarine, because we've got the other one that goes under the water. And they will be fighting against... Well, let's see. I don't know what we're going to do if Amfreets is fighting someone built to fly. That's going to be interesting. Looks like it's going to be cringe. Or is it going to... No, it's drifting on to Mecha. Amfreets versus Mechastopheles. Okay, I think... Mechastopheles got a surface battleship. No, he's got the fly. Oh boy, it is the flyer. Okay, we have an interesting one. I've spawned it on the wrong team. Dang it. Right. Let's spawn the platform first, because that's the one that needs to go in the water. Right, submersible platform. That's facing fort. No, facing the center, right? I'll try to avoid doing any big screw-ups, like giving one team an unfair advantage from forgetting to do something like that, but it is me, so, you know. Might happen. Versus, what was it? Mechastopheles on... I feel like white flares would fit with his big mohawk fin. Let's get the timer set up. His guns are spawned facing the wrong way, but that's not my fault. And let's go. Oh. Oh no, immediately we have a major malfunction. What's gone wrong there? He's taken an explosive hit immediately and his guns have been left behind. Oh no. Well, we'll have a quick look at the submersible platform. It looks like Mechastopheles has hit an immediate snag in that his guns have fallen behind. I know he mentioned that the docking ports sometimes fail. God, do I restart that or do I assume that's just a problem it had? Oh, I don't know. Let's have a look at the submersible platform and see how we're looking. It's sat just below the water. It looks to take a tiny bit of damage, but not much. Oh dear. Well, that's not a good start. If it happens again, I might even log that and do a rematch between the two later in the tournament, but we'll see how it goes. It was working before. In fact, do I restart that and assume that's broken? I don't know. Well, I took a hit immediately, so it might just be that the docking ports just got hit instantly. I somehow think those mortars are not going to be very accurate, but... Missile exchange is definitely working. No, maybe not. Mechastopheles' craft is dodging, though. It's dodging. It's taking the odd hit. Particle cannons going out. Missiles. Are they flares? Tiny missiles? It's hard to say. I think they're flares of some sort. Where are its drones? They're over here-ish, apparently. Try and find the drones quickly. There they are. They're all sat on the bottom. Oh, one of them's actually firing, I think. It's actually got a lock even down there. Oh, there we go. Its drones are still in the fight. Kind of. Submersible platform is... Well, it's a bit hard to say because they're all separate, but I would say the submersible platform's taken less damage so far. Maybe this is a good idea. Maybe sitting just below the water to get a little bit of shielding is not a bad idea. Although it does mean every missile that hits you will be a torpedo, so... Effectively, so that's something to keep an eye out for. That's all is dodging. That's a flak missile. It's floating near it, I think. So those are countermeasures, those little ones. It does look good with its mohawk, but... No clear winners at the moment. Again, losing the gun turrets I think hurt it, but... That all looks pretty tough as well, actually. Although, is that breached through its armour? Yeah, a little bit. It looks like perhaps this thing's focusing on evasion. keep it out of harm, which I will give it credit, it's doing. Particle cannons are hitting, but I don't think they're doing a lot. Missiles, meanwhile... Oh, missiles have ripped open its side. Do let me know, Mecha, if this was a bug, if you think this is a bug, not damage. Maybe let me know, and I can maybe consider rematching this one. We'll leave this one up to partly to like viewer opinion and partly also to if I get any info back there. If also, additionally, Amphiretes, if you have a weapon that could have struck immediately and feasibly done that damage, also let me know, because I could also completely believe that. But yeah, I think for the moment we'll just assume this goes as it goes. That's Orb is still evading. Platform is still firing missiles. Oh, ammunition exhausted. Uh-oh. Has it drained its ammunition, firing all its missiles? I say that, but it still seems to be firing stuff. These large missiles are hitting hard, though. It is definitely missing some. Could this be where the Tatzel brings it back? By not having suffered too much damage early on? Well, I must say I'm not 100% convinced, because it is making some mighty big hits. Check the platform as well. Sorry if I end up focusing on one ship too long and trying to switch it around a bit. Looks like the rangefinders are taking hits. It's because they're stuck out the water and giving off signals, but that's maybe protecting the main body from taking hits. VLS missiles. Yeah, for supposedly being low on ammunition, it still seems to be firing okay. Are they salvaging off each other? Direct hit to the nose. Still evading good. Oh. That blinked off everything for a moment. Oh. I'm not sure how long it can keep up at this rate, given the damage it's taken. We've got at least one piston offline there. If it takes too many more hits to that exposed right side, it's probably going down, I would imagine. Oh. Oh, that one can't have done any favours. That one went right in. Oh, looks like we've got engine failures. Or engines failing anyway. Yeah, I think I'm mostly going to end up focusing on this one, because I believe this is the one where the damage is going to happen. Definitely sounds like engines are failing now, and I'm not at all surprised. Look at that mess. Oh, it's gone! There goes the Tatzel, and that's the core. I have to consider that dead for the others. Sure, I suppose we can keep the fight going, but that's like a fifth of the, that's like 20% of the craft at least knocked out, probably more. I think the platform will probably be able to deal with whatever's left. Or can it? Is it actually able to engage under the water? These missiles have fired, apparently. Whatever these are, they do shoot. Do I reasonably think these guns can do any damage at this point? I think we call that there, because I don't reasonably think these can do any damage. They're basically out. They've got no controller. Yeah, I'm gonna call that a loss for Mecha. But I will wait to hear your guys' opinion in the comments. Do you think I should rematch that one? Because that was a slightly odd match. And again, I'd like to hear if you think Amphiretes, do you think that was just something one of your weapons did and I just missed it? Do let me know. But we'll count that one as a match over. Victory to Amphiretes. Yes. So Amphiretes 1. Mecha 0. Right. The last matchup. Reset timer. Will be Damadoc versus Cringe. I find myself fighting off Cringe constantly, but for different reasons. Right. Dama had, I believe, the Iron Maiden, the battleship. Oh, there. Thank you for the white flares today. And Cringe had... What do Cringe have? I don't remember. Oh, Cringe has the strange looking ship. I spawned them on the same team again. Ah! Every time. On my team, whatever. Prince's ATV, spawn. Got to get into the water at least. This is a match I don't know how it's going to go, because obviously this thing is a railgun submarine question mark. Right, and then lightning hoods, why not? Lightning hoods, Damadoc. Load. We'll set the timer again. Battle begin. Looks like the Iron Maiden is immediately moving to broadside. The ATV is not really moving. No, it is moving. It's not fast, but it can move in the water by the looks of it. I would say it was a submarine. Looks like the Iron Maiden is doing more damage, but it is struggling to engage. And again, there are explosions happening. No, some of the guns are hitting. It's fire happening on both sides. Are the railguns working? There's torpedoes coming in. Must have the launchers that I missed. Railguns are firing. Now, Iron Maiden is missing a lot of its shots. A lot of them are just deflecting off the water surface. Oh, and it has lost a gun turret. Lost the rear turret. It was doing very well until that. Has it lost steering? It doesn't appear to be turning. No, rudder looks okay. It's very much a very conventional surface craft versus a... I have to admit I'm not sure what to call the other craft, but... Guns are firing. It's very difficult to tell what's going on in this battle. The only thing is, as the Iron Maiden gets the longer ranges, its guns will get even less effective because the water drop-off's going to hit it harder. However, it looks like its torpedoes are still working very well. Oh, some shells dropping down very near it, but yeah, the water slowdown is really hurting them. But there's still some hits happening. They don't want to hold the track guards, but is it a tow decoy? Is that a decoy? No, it's a sensor buoy. Okay. It's got a above water sensor buoy of some sort to track targets. That's interesting. It really isn't sinking very well. I don't know whether this thing was supposed to, like, sink to the bottom a lot quicker. You might have wanted to put some lead in it. In fact, there's a lot of wood at the other side of the hull. Oh, there is some lead. Yeah. It does need to be built to sink. Then again, it's not dying yet, but it's... I have to admit, it's not doing a lot. I can't see this being a win for him if he doesn't pull something out quickly. The Iron Maiden is really fighting the wrong sort of target, but it is still fighting it. And it is not helpless. It has the torpedoes, and some of the guns are hitting, even if it's lost a gun itself and seems to be losing tracking. My suspicion is those railguns can hit it very hard, but this thing is struggling to really engage in general. I hope I haven't pulled out the wrong version of your craft, but as far as I could tell, this was the only version you gave me. Oh, it's crawling along the bottom now. It is moving. It does look like something out of Thunderbirds, which does win bonus points. Chunky ground Thunderbird 4. But the main thing it seems to be doing is just being vulnerable. Some thick armor, though. Oh, there goes its radar tower, or sonar tower. That's not going to be good. Yeah, very thick armor is absorbing shots well, so it's taking it down to the underside, which I probably didn't appreciate. But then again, I don't know that I'd say it was doing it well enough. Those extra weapons on the side? No, it's the railguns. They're stubby now. Was it firing torpedoes that I'm not seeing? No, I think it is the trails from the Maiden. Speaking of said Maiden. Yeah, it looks to be fairly happy. Just cruising the surface, shelling away. It's getting some odd engagement angles, although even at that weird angle it had two guns on target, which I guess is something. Maybe it wanted a steeper broadside angle, I don't know, but yeah, it seems to be working okay. I guess it's technically got more... oh no, I suppose it'd be 3 front or back, wouldn't it? And then it'd be 5 in the broadside. But yeah, you probably want it at Whether it wants to be at a steeper angle or whether it's just not very fast to turn and that just is as fast as it turns around. It's weird looking for the green marker on the where is everybody thing at the top of the screen. Oh, hit to the track, but not enough to stop it. It does have a lot of redundancy. Thanks to its weird hole. Engine is hit. It looks like the front boilers are just out, I would say. I can't imagine they're doing much at this point. Turbines as well. Very, very odd internals in this ship. Ship, tank, crawler, seabed crawler, I guess. Perhaps this one's designed for the land. Maybe this will come into its own in the land battles. And of course, there will be one. It will have its chance. Ooh. Internal hit. It's stopped for the moment. No, it's still going. Out of time. 4:36. Still time left for either side to make a comeback. I think after a hit like that to one of its only 2 guns, I don't know that it's going to. I will say this much for this thing though. It might be strange. It might not seem to have the highest firepower, though it did knock out a turret very easily. But it's tough. It has taken a huge amount of beating and it is still moving. It needs to have a whole engine out and it's still fine, apparently. Or fine in big quotations, so... Another torpedo hit to the side. That gun's not appreciating that. I think that railgun's basically out at this point. Got another one that does still work, but it seems to be struggling to get a track. Perhaps other turning thrusters would have been the other... No, it did have some at the front and back. We've lost the front ones, but... Yeah, perhaps better turning it needed. As it maybe needs to be able to swivel because the guns are mostly forward-facing. It's the exact problem we've had with the Chris in the main campaign. Maybe it needed to be able to turn quicker and get the guns on target a bit better. Hard to say. Shell lazily drifting down onto the roof and punching a big hole through it. Although I will say, the shell, most of the weaponry is hitting the front of it, and there's nothing functional in the front anymore. So I actually think a lot of the fire that is hitting it is being wasted. So perhaps that was its plan, to like out-endure, and it just took too much damage on the way down, maybe. And then again, whatever its armor isn't. I think it's metal, but it doesn't seem to be tremendously durable. It's really thick, but... Or perhaps that's the Iron Maiden just hitting it really hard. Maybe these shells are very powerful. It looked like they could be 500 mil. What's being fired at it? No, that just looks like pen depth explosive. Doesn't look like it ought to be too horrifying. I don't think that dreadnought is rail assisted, although I could be wrong. Now the torpedoes soaring in through the front make me concerned. One really bad hit, yeah, like that will drop inside and knock something important out. So I managed to skim right underneath it. When I say that, it's still moving. Whether it's just residual power or whether there's some generators inside it that's still working, I don't know, but... I will say, KATV, you're impressing me with your persistence. Perhaps not your firepower. Let's have a look at the name. How we're looking? I don't even know why I'm asking. It's actually had time for the... There was a limit to self-repairs, but it looks like whatever self-repair it had has actually been enough to put its gun back online. I'm genuinely impressed it's actually brought one of its turrets entirely back online. Sonar system's been completely knocked off now. Big hit to the rear cabin. Oh god, look at this! Is this why there's so much focus on the railguns? They're just that huge. Crikey. Its gun turrets were enormous. I guess they just weren't able to bring themselves to bear in this fight. Or there was something wrong with them, I'm not sure, but it did do some damage early on. Could it be that this thing will shred its targets, but just as suffered from bad conditions or bad matchup? Who can say? Apart from its creator, obviously. He'd know a bit more about it than me, or she. I genuinely have no idea. Looks like I would say I might call that match there. I know it's early. I can't see any coming back from this. The guns are basically disabled. It's on the... This thing is cruising around the wrong side for it to hit back. Then again, should I? Because it's got one barrel left. We'll run the timer out, I guess. I could probably call this one here, but I'll run the timer out. There's only 30 seconds left anyway. Could it be if it suddenly gets on target, it'll unleash a spray of railgun shots and disintegrate its opponent instantly? Technically possible. I don't think it's likely at this point. I think the victory for this one's going to go to the Maiden, if I'm honest. I think Damodoc's going to be taking the win here. There's the timer. Victory definitely goes to Damodoc. No damage, effectively. All damage taken has been self-repaired at this point. So. Got one and... what was it? Not Mecha. Cringe. 0 for the cringe, I'm afraid. Well, well. That's our first round. That was the sea battle round. Very interesting. Okay. So, I have to save this document. At the end of round 1, the scores are as follows. I'll shift them so that all the people that scored go to the top. Let's get these arranged. So, in joint first, Cobra X, Tank 745, Amphiretes and Damodocs. Damodoc. Joint second, Mew 2014, Solid Pickle, Mecha and The Cringe. However, there's still very much time for comebacks. There's a lot of rounds coming up still. There's still 4 more rounds. And they're all completely different conditions, so I'll be very interested to see how those go. Hopefully you've enjoyed the first part of this little tournament. I'll see you guys all tomorrow, or whatever it is, for round 2. Probably tomorrow, but I don't know for sure. But yes. Goodbye.